The Ghost of the Skies, a pilot's final descent. The year was 1943, and the sky over the English Channel was a canvas of smoke and fire. Flight Lieutenant Jack Thompson sat in the cockpit of his battered Spitfire, the engine coughing and spitting oil against the glass. His wingman had already gone down, and Jack's own plane was riddled with bullet holes from a dogfight that had lasted far too long. He was losing altitude fast, and the cold gray water of the sea was rushing up to meet him. Jack looked at the photograph of his wife, Sarah, tucked into the corner of his dashboard. He was only 23, but in the cockpit of a fighter plane, he felt like an old man who had seen the end of the world. He knew his chances of making it back to the cliffs of Dover were slim, yet he gripped the controls with blood-stained hands, refusing to give up on the life that was waiting for him across the water. Suddenly, another shadow appeared in the clouds. Jack braced for a final attack, but as the plane drew closer, he saw it wasn't an enemy. It was a damaged bomber from his own side, struggling to stay airborne. Its engines were failing, and it was being hunted by a lone enemy fighter circling above like a hawk. Jack knew he had just enough fuel to reach the coast, or he could use his remaining bullets to defend the bomber. Without hesitation, Jack banked his dying Spitfire into a sharp turn. He engaged the enemy fighter in a desperate, low-altitude dance, drawing the fire away from the vulnerable bomber. His guns roared one last time before falling silent as he ran out of ammunition. He didn't pull away. Instead, he stayed on the enemy's tail, forcing the pilot to break off the attack out of fear of a collision. The bomber escaped into the clouds, heading toward safety. Jack's engine finally gave out with a violent shudder. The silence that followed was deafening. He glided toward the water, the sun setting behind the horizon in a brilliant burst of orange and gold. He wasn't afraid. He had bought time for 10 men on that bomber to go home to their families. As the Spitfire touched the waves, Jack closed his eyes, thinking of Sarah and the quiet life they had dreamed of in the countryside. Decades later, a group of veterans gathered at a small village church. Among them was the pilot of that bomber, a man who had lived to see his grandchildren grow up because of a stranger in a Spitfire. They placed a wreath by the sea, honoring the ghost of the skies. Jack never came home, but his courage became a legend, a reminder that in the vastness of war, one man's sacrifice can be the light that leads others back to the shore.